Good morning, first graders. Today we are working in our textbook. As usual, we're going to work on the very last lesson, which is super cool because today's lesson is all about practice and review of everything we learned in this chapter, which was practicing within the number 20 and learning 2 different methods. And after that, we have our chapter 8 coming up. So exciting. And that is about shapes. Very, very cool. Okay, let's begin. I hope you're already on lesson 6 on the practice page. It is on page 137 in your textbook. We're going to start with number 1. And I love this one. I'm not going to do this on the board because they already took apart the 17 for us. Thank you to them. 17 minus 9. What did they do? They said inside the 17 there is a 10 and a 7, and they're going to take away the 9. So if we did that, 10 minus 9 is 1, 1 and the 7 is 8. So that would mean this side of the equation is 8. There's an equal sign here, which means this side of the equation also has to be 8. 7 plus what gives you 8? 7 plus 1 gives you 8. Okay, let's look at letter B. They took apart letter B for us as well, but this time they're using the second method and they're going to take away from the ones place first. Notice here we took away from the tens place, which was a 10. And today on this side we're taking away from the ones place. Inside of the 8 there is a 4 and a, you guessed it, there's a 4 because 4 plus 4 is 8. Now we can subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. 10 minus 4 is 6. That means 14 minus 8 is 6. If this side of the equation is 6, this side also has to be 6. 10 minus what gives you 6? 10 minus 4 gives you 6. How do I know that? 6 plus 4 is 10, right? And also we really know how to add numbers up to 10 and take numbers 10 apart really, really well by now, right? Okay, now the next one, since they didn't take it apart for us, I'm going to do that on my board, 15 minus 8. Let's use the first method and take apart the 15. Inside the 15, there is a 10 and a 5. Now we can subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. Notice that I just said 15 minus 8 is 7, but I also said 5 plus 2 is 7. So you can kind of see it here. 5 plus what is going to give us 7? Because remember, both sides of the equation have to be equal. And we just did 5 plus 2 is 7, so I know 5 plus 2 is 7. Let's do the same subtraction, 15 minus 8. This time, let's use the second method where we take away from the ones place first. All right, so we're going to say 15 minus 8. This time, we're taking away from the ones. So inside the 8, there is a 5. I know there's a 5 because 8 is bigger than 5, right? There has to be a 5 in there. Inside the 8, there's a 5 and a 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. Now we can subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. What is left here? We have a 10 minus 3. 10 minus 10 minus 3 is 7. So here we know that 15 minus 8, this side, is 7. This side also has to be 7. 10 minus what gives you 7? 10 minus what gives you 7? 10 minus 3. We just did that, so we know the answer is right there for us. Let's do letter B and D. Letter B and D both are taking away 12 minus 5. So we're going to do that using 2 separate methods. In the first method, we're going to take away from 10, so we're going to take this apart. Inside the 12, there is a 10 and a 2. Now we can subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. Add those leftovers. 5 plus 2 is 7. Wow, this answer was 7 too. How cool. So 12 minus 5 we said is 7. That means this side also has to be 7, right? What number plus 2 gives you 7? What number plus 2 gives you 7? 5. You are right. Now we're going to do it again. This time we're going to use the taking away from the ones place first. Let's see, 12 minus 5. We're going to take away from here first. So inside the 5 there is a 2 and a 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now we can subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 10 minus 3 is 7. Remember, this is a 10. I'm just going to quickly write that up here so you can see it. We said 12 minus 5 equals 7. 10 minus 3, I gave the answer. 10 minus what equals 7? 10 minus what did we take away to get the 7? We took away a 3. All right, letter number 3, letter A. 16 minus 7. Now for all of these, you can use any method that you want, whichever you like best or you find it easier for you. I'm going to take away from the ones place. Inside the 7 there's a 6 and a 1. 6 minus 6 is 0. 10 minus 1 is 9. Our answer is 9. Letter A is 9. Letter B, 14 minus 7. Inside the 7, there is a 4 and a 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 minus 4 is 0. 10 minus 3 is 7. Our answer is 7. Letter C, 17 minus 8. Inside of the 8, there is a 7 and a 1. Let's subtract. 7 minus 7 is 0. 10 minus 1 is 9. Our answer is 9. Notice that whenever we have a 0, 0 plus that number is already that number. So we just put that number as our answer, okay? 11 minus 17 minus 8 was 9. 13 minus 6. Inside the 6, there is a 3 and another 3 because 3 plus 3 is 6. Now we can subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. 10 minus 3 is 7. Our answer is 7. 18 minus 8, I'll do that one here because I can just see the 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. That leaves me with my 10. Let's do letter F, 12 minus 7. Inside the 7, there is a 2 and a 5 because 5 plus 2 is 7. Now we can subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 10 minus 5 is 5. That means our answer is 5. 15 minus 9. Inside of the 9, there is a 5 and a 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. Now we can subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. 10 minus 4 is 6. Therefore, our answer is 6. Let's do 11 minus 2. When it's this small, you could also just count backwards, right? 11, 10, 9. But I'm going to subtract it anyway. Inside the 2, there is a 1 and a 1, just so I can practice. 1 minus 1 is 0. 10 minus 1 is 9, and there is our 9. 14 minus 5 is next. Inside the 5, there is a 4 and a 1. 4 minus 4 is 0. 10 minus 1 is 9. Our answer is 9. Easy peasy. How are you guys doing with these? 12 minus 8. I bet you guys are doing great. Inside of this 8, there is a 2 and a 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. Now we can subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 10 minus 6 is 4. And there's our answer, number 4. These are so much fun. 2 more. 13 minus 5. Inside the 5, there is a 3 and a 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. Now we can subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. 10 minus 2 is 8. Our answer is 8. Let's do the very last one, letter L. 11 minus 9. Inside the 9, there is a 1. Now, if you're having a hard time coming up with these numbers, you can always use your tens frame. Let me take it out for you. You can always take out your tens frame and write your number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you can take out the 1 that's on the ones place. So you can say, okay, I have a 1. And then you can kind of see what's the other part left. 5, 6, 7, 8. So then you would know the 9 has a 1 and an 8. Okay, this is a good way to help you if you're struggling here. Now we can subtract. 1 minus 1 is 0. 10 minus 8 is 2. And our answer is 2. Perfect. Now we can go to the very last page of this chapter. Oh, this is so exciting. This was really good practice. And yes, there are some word problems. Those are the best. Let's read number 4. It says write an equation for each. So for both of these, we need to write an equation. Let's read letter A. 15 birds were sitting on a telephone wire. Cool beans. 6 birds flew away. How many birds are left? So after reading it once, I'm going to read each sentence again, and then I'm going to show a picture of what I understand. 15 birds were sitting on a telephone wire. So here's my 15 birds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Remember, we don't draw actual birds. We're doing a quick math drawing. So all of these circles represents the 15 birds. Now, 6 birds flew away. To show 6 flew away, I'm going to cross off 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What did I do? I took some birds away, so I'm going to write subtraction symbol. How many birds did I take away or flew away? 6. And this is what my equation looks like. Now I have to find the answer. I can simply count and see how much is left, right? There's 5 on top, 4 in the bottom. 5 plus 4 is 9. Now, if I was showing this on my number without the pictures, I would say inside of the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you see that? Inside of that 6, there is a 5. Here is that 5. Do you see it? Oops. Here's that 5. And what's that other number in there? 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Now we can take away the 5. Take away from 5. We got rid of that. 5 minus 5. Now we're going to take the 1 from the 10. See that 10 here? When you take the 1 from the 10, you're left with 5 plus 4, which is 9. Got it? So for our equation on our book, we will write down, because they said write an equation, we will say 15 birds minus 6 birds flew away. 9 birds are left. Let's look at letter B. I'll read it. Lily made a picture with 12 fall leaves she found. 7 of them are maple leaves. How many leaves are not maple leaves? So I'm going to read it one more time and draw a picture of what I understood. Lily made a picture with 12 fall leaves. She found 12 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's her 12 leaves. 7 of them are maple, so I know 7 are maple. I'm going to mark the ones that are maple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In order to find out how many leaves are not maple, we take away what we know. We knew what was maple? 7. We're taking away 7 to figure out what is left that are not maple. This is maple, not maple. We can easily count and see the answer, right? It's 5. But if we were doing it without the picture, we can say inside of that number 7, there is a 2. Where's that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you see it? Inside that 7, there is a 2. Here's that 2. And there is also a 5. Because 2 plus 5 is 7. Now we can subtract. This was the 5. Okay? Now we can take the 2 from the 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Now we're going to take the 5 from the 10. Remember, there's a 10 here. 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. Sorry, I erased a little bit of those circles. So our answer is 5. Again, because it told us to write an equation, we're going to write the whole thing. We're going to say there were 12 leaves. 7 of them were maple. We took away the maples to find out that there were 5 that were not maple leaves. Number 5 says put in order from least to greatest. In order to put them in order, first we have to solve for them and see what the answers are. So I'm going to start with 14 minus 6. I'm going to say inside of the 6 there is a 4 and a 2 because 4 plus 2 is 6. Now I can subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. 10 minus 2 is 8. So I know 14 minus 6 is 8. Therefore, I'm going to write a small 8 right there. I'm going to squeeze it in there. Now let me try 12 minus 7. 12 minus 7. Inside of the 7, there is a 2 and a 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. Now we can subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 10 minus 5 is 5. Now I will write my 5 as my answer before moving on to 13 minus 9. Inside of this 9, there is a 3 and a 6 because 6 plus 3 is 9. Now I can subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. 10 minus 6 is 4. There is my answer. 13 minus 9 is 4. Next one is 15 minus 6. Inside of the 6, there is a 5 and a 1 because 5 plus 1 is 6. Now we can subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. 10 minus 1 is 9. Our answer is 9. And the last one for letter A is 16 minus 9. Inside of the 9, there is a 6 and a 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. Now we can subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. 10 minus 3 is 7. Okay, now that I wrote all of my answers, I can put them in order from least to greatest. Least, the smallest number here is this one. So I'm going to put 1 there. After 4, there's a 5. 6, there's no 6. Oh, there's a 7. That must be the third one. After 7, there's an 8. And then there's a 9. So I put them in order from least to greatest. We're going to do the very same thing with letter B, and we're going to subtract all of them first. This time, if you notice, when we did A, I took away from the ones place first for all of them. For letter B, I'm going to take away from the tens place for all of them, okay? Just so we can refresh our memory. Inside of the 13, there is a 10 and a 3. We're going to say 10 minus 8 is 2 and add those leftovers. 3 plus 2 is 5. So the first one is 5. Again, I'm going to write my answer inside that little box. And then we'll do the next one. 19 minus 3. Inside of the 19, there is a 10 and a 9. I'm going to say 10 minus 3 because I'm taking away from the tens place first. 10 minus 3 is 7. Actually, see, when I did this, I realized I'm going to have to add 7 plus 9, which is harder to add. So this was not a good method for this problem. So I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to try the other method, 19 minus 3, of taking from the ones first. Okay? So again, I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to say the number 19 has a 10 and a 9, but instead of taking from the 10, I'm going to take away from the 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. Notice when I did that and I have to add the leftovers, adding 10 plus 6 is a lot easier than adding what I had, which was 9 and 7, I believe. So 10 plus 6 is 16. Notice how having two different methods and different strategies is helping us come to the answer quicker and easier. So the answer for 19 minus 3 is 16. Let's do 12 minus 6. I'm going to go back and try to take away from the tens place first. 12 minus 6. Inside the 12, there is a 10 and a 2. 10 plus 2 makes 12. Now I'm going to take away. 10 minus 6 is 4. Add those leftovers. 4 plus 2 is 6. Let's write our answer. 12 minus 6 is 6. Let's do 18 minus 6. 18 minus 6. Whenever you see that the ones place has more than what you're taking away, it will be easier to take away from this side. Okay, so for example, inside of the number 18, there is a 10 and an 8. Instead of taking from the 10, you can just say 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. And then add those leftovers. 10 plus 2 is 12. And it's really easy to add with your 10, right? So technically, you're taking away from the ones place first, but you're taking apart this number instead of this one. Okay? Oh, I almost forgot to write my answer. 12. Let's do 11 minus 8. 11 minus 8. I'm going to take apart the 11. 11 has a 10 and a 1. I'm going to say 10 minus 8 is 2. And then add those leftovers. 2 plus 1 is 3. And there's my answer, 3. Now I can look at all of my answers and find the one that is the least. I can see 3 is the smallest, so I'm going to put a 1 there. And then 5 is the next smallest, the least. After 2, there is a 6, that's going to be the third one. And then there's a 12, that's my fourth. And the greatest one is 16, that will be my fifth. And the last part here is number 6. It says which equations are true, which are false. So if they are true, we're going to write a T next to it. If it is false, we're going to put an F next to it. Okay? Let's look at letter A. 11 minus 8 is 8. 11 minus 8 is 8. That's what they said. So inside of the 11, there is a 10 and a 1. 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So our answer can't be 8. It's supposed to be a 3. So I know letter A is false. So I'm going to write F next to the letter A. Ooh, look at letter C. Letter C is extra fun because there's two sides of the equation. We need to make sure both sides are equal. 9 plus 1 is 10. I'm going to just write that here. So that means this side also has to be 10. If it is not, that means it's not true. Let's try 14 minus 9. 14 minus 9. Inside of this 9, there is a 4 and a 5. 4 minus 4 is 0. 10 minus 5 is 5. So 14 minus 9 is not 10. It is 5. That means both of these sides are not equal. So this equation is false. So we will write our letter F. Let's look at letter E. 10 minus 8 is 2. Let's do this side. 13 minus 8. Inside of the 8, there is a 3 and a 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 3 minus 3 is 0. 10 minus 5 is 5. So 13 minus 8 is 5. Is 5 equal to 2? No. So letter E is also false. Wow, we didn't find any equations that were true yet. Let's look at letter B. It said 8 is equal to 13 minus 5. Let's try. Inside of the 5, there is a 3 and a 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. Now we can subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. 10 minus 2 is 8. Oh, look at that. We found our very first equation that was true. So we will put a T next to that letter B for true. Letter D, 12 plus 5. Notice I'm taking one side of the equation and solving that, and then I'm solving the other side of the equation. What is 12 plus 5? Inside of the 12, there is a 10 and a 2. Let's add 5 plus 2 is 7. 10 and 7 make 17. So we're going to write 17 under that one. And now we're going to solve the other side. 15 minus 2. Inside of the 5, well, let's not do that. Inside of the 15, sorry about that, there is a 10 and a 5. Let's take away 5 minus 2 is 3. Add those leftovers. 10 plus 3 is 13. Or you could have counted backwards. 15. In my head, take 2 away. 15, 14, 13. Okay? Let's write our 13. Is 17 equal to 13? Nope. We're going to put F for false. And let's do the very last one. 13 minus 7. Inside of the 7, there is a 3 and a 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. Now we can subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. 10 minus 4 is 6. So our answer for the first part, 13 minus 7 is 6. Now let's do this side of the equation. What is 3 plus 3? 3 plus 3 is 6. Is 6 equal to 6? Yes. So we put a true. Fantastic. Wow, that was so much fun. I love math. This was super fun. Now we are finished with our textbook for chapter 7. Congratulations, you guys. Now we're going to look at our workbook. Let's open to our workbook. I can't wait to see what you guys did from yesterday. I'm going to check on that today while you're working on the very last exercise. So today you are on exercise 6. It says make as many addition and subtraction equations as you can. 3 of them are done for you. So they said 3 plus 8 is 11. That is correct. So they circled it and made an equation. You can also make an equation going down. 11 minus 5 is 6. So they circled it. So you're going to make as many as you can. They can be addition or subtraction. Okay? And then down here it says cross out any that are greater than 13. In order to know if they are greater than 13, of course you have to solve all of them and write your answers in the box, nice and small like we did in the textbook. And then if they are greater than 13, cross them off. Okay? Then flip to the next page and do some fun word problems. Those are exciting. Remember to write your equation and then your number in your statements. Then turn to the last page and you're going to work on the challenges. Okay, and that is it. And then you are done with chapter 7. So exciting. That means tomorrow you will get to take your chapter 7 assessment, and we will get to begin chapter 8 on shapes. You guys did a great job today. See you tomorrow. Bye.